Hello, I'm a real human being, and I watch Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. I say this because sometimes you see a movie release and wonder, wow, would a real human being watch this? And yes, a real human being watched this movie, and now I'm going to talk about it. When I say that Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is a cruel, soulless mockery of the original, crafted by Disney to remind everyone of how great Disney is, and that it spits in the face of every kid who ever had a wet dream about Gadget. No. Is it Yeah, it's pretty Let's start off with the plot of this I Spy the Funny movie before I tangent myself so hard that I'm on the Z-axis. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers 2022, the movie, is your average two characters were friends, but then they boofed it and goofed it, and now they have to become friends again through a wacky adventure and a series of hijinks. But there's a twist, and it's that Disney made the villain their real-life antagonist, someone who doesn't respect their copyright. Our villain, our actual antagonist, is Peter Pan. Yep. He got old, and so he had to stop acting because as he grew older, people didn't want an older Peter Pan. So he has decided that to make money, he'll abduct cartoons and force them to undergo surgery to be in bootleg movies. I should mention that there are some weird parallels between this Peter Pan and the original voice actor Bobby Driscoll, since Driscoll's career also suffered after he grew up, though Driscoll's story is much sadder than mob boss bootleg Will Arnett Peter Pan. If this is just a coincidence, then I'm wondering how the writers of this movie failed geometry so hard that they couldn't even do a simple Google search. And if it isn't a coincidence, then wow. Really, Disney? With Peter Pan, or Sweet Pete as he's called, being the villain, you also need some goons to go along with that villain attitude. And Sweet Pete lives in the Uncanny Valley. That's right, the literal Uncanny Valley in this movie, and he has two major goons. There is a polar bear and a CGI Viking voiced by Seth Rogen. And yes, you do hear because why wouldn't you? When it comes to this bear, though, I have a very specific burning question. Is this the Coca-Cola bear, or is this the Golden Compass bear? I only ask because I've had several arguments with several friends about whether or not this is the Soda Pop bear or the demon from Golden Compass. And if it is the Soda Pop bear, why is he a villain when he should be swilling sugary sodas on like a mountain of money somewhere, because he would be the Coca-Cola polar bear? And if he is the Golden Compass bear, then why? Does anybody remember the Golden Compass? I mean, really, honestly, do you? I mean, probably, but like, do you? Do you really remember the Golden Compass, or do you just want to say that you remember the Golden Compass so you seem smarter than me? Huh? Yeah, I thought so. And that's why I'm just gonna say it's hyper-realistic Norm of the North. The Chipmunks have to rescue their friend Monterey Jack from the bad guy because he owes the bad guy cheddar. I mean, money for cheddar, so we have a bit of a cheddar squared situation on our hands. And Jack turns to his rodent friends to get him out of this sticky cheese situation. But alas, Chip and Dale split up in the 90s because Dale wanted to impress Chip with his spy spin-off show. Dale also got CGI surgery, I should mention, so if this picture gives you visual nausea, I understand. I'll give you a minute to find the nearest bucket. Then, without explaining the rest of the movie step by friggin' step, they go through a wacky adventure filled with double crosses, funny references, and there's a big boy battle at the end that calls back to the intro and the original series. So where are the likes and dislikes? What did I like about this movie, and what did I not like? Why am I saying but not Well, I really liked the background gags. And the voice acting and performances from Andy Samberg and J.K. Simmons sound like they're really having fun playing Dale and the Gumby Cop, with Will Arnett as Peter Pan only making me happy because Will Arnett can care about almost any role. You could make him the Greenpeace in a movie about the board game Sorry, and I would watch it. I also liked Paul Rudd's dumbass Ant-Man cameo, and Darkwing Duck at the end kind of made it all worthwhile for me. But that just means that nostalgia carries this movie harder than that little fly guy fucks Gadget, which I'll mention before we jump into the dislikes. I'm not gonna write an obituary for a childhood cartoon crush. I'm not a dork or a nerd. I mean, I am, but I'm not such a dork that I would sit here for 3.5 hours and talk about how I'm mad about a character that I thought was kind of cute when I was a kid is now fucking the green fly. I really don't care that much that Gadget is getting railed nightly by Zipper. But someone sent me posts on 4chan's co-board, and some people are really mad that Gadget had 42 kids, because I feel like maybe that canonically ruins thousands of dollars in rat porn commissions. And I laughed harder at the idea of people taking all the rat porn that they have commissioned and throwing it away while crying that Gadget has been ruined. She's not pure or whatever. I feel like that's more funny than anything else in this movie. And that in itself gives value to this movie. There's also value in the real meat of this movie, which is kind of in the background gags. Gucci Dobby seeing Sora and Jimmy Neutron's hair, catching a glimpse of a car or a couple of cars from Cars, Randy Marsh in the sauna, and anything and everything that it comes with. We derive value from nostalgia, and a lot of the background gags are funny because you see characters in situations that you wouldn't normally see them in. The best way for me to enjoy this movie was I treated it like a pop culture Where's Waldo or Wall-E book, which isn't the best way to enjoy cinema, but it's still less bland than Ready Player One, so it has that going for it. What it didn't have going for it, and the stuff that I didn't like, is also important to this discussion, because this is really what gets the movie to its status, and I wish that they had done some things a little bit differently. First, the animation. It can be a bit distracting at times. I like mixed media, animation mixed with live action, as much as the next guy, but sometimes it can be a bit much, a little overwhelming to the eyes. Roger Rabbit, who is in this movie, by the way, although his wife isn't, so hold your balls, metaphorical or otherwise, will always be my gold standard for mixed media, as it should be for almost anyone. Sorry, Cool World fans. But while some characters are rendered as actual 2D animations, the main rodents and a few others kind of just remind me of the 2016 Berserk anime. It feels stiff and not quite there. Depending on what angle the camera comes from, it can be good and it can be bad. And then your brain will go a little fuzzy and limp, but then you see another funny reference, so, you know, it's kind of like a brain Kickstarter. Did I mention limp? So let's talk about John Mulaney. This very famous bowl of potato salad voices Chip with the exuberance of someone locked in a sound booth for a paycheck. And our lead human, Ellie Steckler, played by actress Kiki Lane, tries her best with the material given, but it ends up coming across more as someone in a children's movie. And is this really a children's movie? I feel like this is more millennial bait than anything else. I mean, what kid is going to know enough about Ugly Sonic for you to want to make him a side character? This movie is kind of just there, and I don't know who it's for aside from, like, me. I mean, not that I loved it, but it just feels so marketed towards people in my age bracket and me. And I don't know if I hate it, but I don't know if I like it either. So I'm in this weird neutral zone of feelings about the whole experience. And I've seen this movie 3 times now, which I wanted to speak on Ugly Sonic. I wanted to touch on that topic in the dislike bracket here because why? I mean, Disney has thousands of properties that they can use as lubricant for this masturbatory project, so why Ugly Sonic? I mean, maybe so they could try to cover up their jack in it a bit, but if my mom sees through the blanket, then I can see through this movie. I would say that Ugly Sonic dates this movie, but it's a movie about Chip and Dale, two rats who make spaceships out of building blocks and go into the jungle once a week from 1989. It's kind of already dated at release. I mean, I guess it works in that people are talking about it and therefore the movie, but Ugly Sonic isn't going to sell any extra Disney Plus subs. So, who was this for? I still wouldn't say that this movie is so bad that you'll curse your bloodline by watching it, and that's why as a real human being, it's my duty, my obligation, and it's my honor to give you two separate final reviews here. Why two reviews? You'll understand. If you are A, someone who watches their Criterion Collection Blu-rays naked in the bathtub while jacking into the idea of the new A24 movie, then you won't like this movie, and I'll give it a 2 out of 10 for you. But if you're B, someone who goes to every Marvel movie release because you're afraid that entropy is slowly creeping up on you, and entertainment need be a distraction before the worms also start to creep in, then you'll probably like it, and I know you already have a Disney Plus subscription, so for you it's a 5 or 6 out of 10. With all that said and out of the way, I have dissected this movie, albeit with a club and not a scalpel. And I would still say that if you want to get some friends together and watch it so you can point at the funny and laugh at the funny and drink 9 to 27 White Claws, then go for it. I'll probably watch it again at some point just to remind myself that I didn't hate this movie and I might be a worse person for it.
I pachanga.
Thank you for watching. Please check out my other videos. There are also things, and you can click on any of the things that are on this end screen here, or you can click away from them. I mean, really, what are you still doing here? I stream on Twitch if you want to check that out. I mean, hey, that's definitely something, right? Otherwise, I'm gonna go, I guess. Maybe I'll order like 1,000 I Spy books off of Amazon.com and just kind of go through them and point at them and chuckle to try to, like, chase this high, you know? Okay. See ya.